Good morning, children.
Morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Children, last day we completed the different parts of human respiratory system and we started with the mechanism of breathing. So we completed the first part of mechanism of breathing. You know that each breathing cycle or in every breathing there is inhalation and exhalation. One exhalation and one inhalation, one breathing. When you breathe once, it includes one inhalation and one exhalation. About the changes taking place during inhalation, we had already learned, but I just want to know from the beginning. I think I told you to revise and come till where I've completed human respiratory system. So starting with our nostrils, you need to tell me the different parts of human respiratory system. Explain it. I will give you like you can take turns and say the entire points. The same person need not say, so one by one. Who is going to start? Let Prajot start. Yes, Prajot. Air is, I'll start for you. Air is taken in through our nostrils. Now, what is next? Others get ready, okay? Till your turn comes, you can revise. You can refer your book till your turn comes. Yes, Prajot. Unmute. Prajot, unmute. What has happened? Ashik.
Yes, ma'am.
Prajot, the next turn for you.
During inhalation,
Ah.
air goes through the nostrils into trachea.
Directly to
No.
the trachea. Huh?
It passes through the
You didn't revise, Ashik.
pharynx.
Why you didn't revise? Through, you think about yourself, through these nasal openings or nostrils, directly it's going to the trachea. Rosabi, where does it go?
It's filtered by hair lining in the air passage and the mucus.
Okay, it will go to the nasal cavity, which is lined with hair and mucus. From nostrils, it will go to the nasal cavity. And why the nasal cavity is having a lining made of hair and mucus, Nirupama?
To filter the air.
Louder.
To filter the air.
Filter the air, or filter or remove the dust particles. And from the nasal cavity, Ashik, now where does it go? From the nasal
Pharynx, then to trachea.
trachea. What is special about trachea? Ashik?
It is an incomplete lining which support it from
Supported by
rings of
what type of rings?
incomplete rings of cartilage.
Okay, Melvin, why trachea is having incomplete rings of cartilage? Why do they have incomplete rings of cartilage?
To prevent it from collapsing in the absence of air.
To prevent it from collapsing even in the absence of air. Now we have reached trachea. Now what is next, Aditya? Aditya Nair.
Yes, ma'am.
After trachea will
divide into bronchi.
Divide into two bronchi, and these bronchi will lead into
Bronchiole and into lungs.
Lungs. Okay, Rifa, within the lungs, what happens to the bronchus?
Bronchus will divide into tube-like structures.
Into tube-like, smaller tubes. What do you call those tubes? Rifa, I am seeing only partially. See, only half part of your face I can see. Yes.
It will divide into small tubes called bronchioles.
Bronchioles. Then, next, hey, Steve. Bronchioles will end up in what?
It terminates in balloon-like structure called alveoli.
They will terminate in balloon-like structures or sac-like structures. You call it as alveoli. What do you know about alveoli? Aman, what do you know about alveoli?
exchange of gases happens in
Very
alveoli.
good. Exchange of gases is taking place here. Then for that, how is it equipped? Hadi Amin, for facilitating the exchange of gases, what do they have?
This alveoli is richly supplied by blood.
Yes, they are richly supplied with blood vessels to facilitate the same. Okay, so these are the different parts of human respiratory system. And we also learned about inhalation. So during inhalation, I told some major changes taking place. So one by one, you can say. Now, Adil, what are the changes taking place during inhalation? Hmm. Adil, why so much time? John,
Words and words.
Ma'am,
one minute. Ashik, not you. Yes, John.
the ribs lift up and diaphragm flatten.
The ribs will
Lift up,
ribs will be lifted up. And then what happens to the diaphragm?
flatten.
Diaphragm flattens. And then one more point, John.
The lungs, chest cavity expands.
Yes, chest cavity will expand. So chest cavity will expand. Ribs will be lifted up. I told instead of lifting, even you can say the ribs will move upwards and outwards. And diaphragm will flatten. Then in this condition, what will happen, Anne Mary? Now these three changes.
Air rush into lungs
When these three changes have taken place, air from outside will rush to where?
and expand the
And
alveoli.
it will fill the expanded alveoli. And it is there in the alveoli that the exchange of gases are taking place. Now we need to learn about exhalation. Since you have learned the points about inhalation, exhalation is very easy. Just the opposite of all these you need to say. I told the ribs will be lifted up, or I told it will be moving upwards and outwards. Now, during exhalation, the ribs will move backwards and downwards. Ribs will move backwards and downwards. Diaphragm will return to its normal position, because when you inhale, the diaphragm, I told, it's a dome-shaped muscle. It will flatten and moves down. But now it will come back during exhalation. It will come back to its normal position. Once again, the ribs, your ribs are here. The ribs will move backwards and downwards. Diaphragm also will be lifted up. It goes back to the normal position. So what happens to the chest cavity? Earlier, what happened? The ribs moved outward and upward. Diaphragm moved down and chest cavity increased. But now everything is taking place in the opposite direction. Diaphragm moving back to its original position, ribs are moving backward and downwards. So what happens to the space in the chest cavity? Increase or decrease?
Decrease.
Decrease. Can air remain there?
No, ma'am.
See, when
No.
when the space is more air. When the space is reduced, air will be expelled out. Air moves out. The air which is containing carbon dioxide will be expelled or released outside during exhalation. Once again, I will repeat, during inhalation, ribs are getting raised, lifted, or it moves upward. Ribs will move upward and outwards. Whereas in exhalation, ribs are moving backwards and downwards. Then during inhalation, diaphragm is getting flattened. But during exhalation, diaphragm returns to its normal position. And during inhalation, the chest cavity is expanding. But in exhalation, chest cavity will decrease. Now I'll show you the slide. Inhalation, we already learned. Moving on to exhalation. During exhalation, the ribs will move backwards and downwards. The ribs will move backwards and downwards, diaphragm returns to its normal position, and the space in the chest cavity will reduce. And the blood is bringing carbon dioxide rich blood from different parts of the body, and it will be released into the alveoli. So that first point we will see later. As a result, air is expelled out. So see these first 2 points, then I'll go back to the first one. Second and third point. So during exhalation, ribs move backwards and downwards, and diaphragm returns to its normal position, and the space in the chest cavity reduces. As a result, air will be released out of the lungs. Now, in inhalation, I told you that when you inhale, the air containing carbon dioxide will reach the alveoli, and from there, the blood will transport it to all parts of the body. So from there, the blood will be transporting it to each and every part of our body. Okay, but during exhalation, what happens? We have to release out the air. How air can be released out? Because carbon dioxide, see, as a result of different activities taking place in your body, you know that carbon dioxide is released. And the carbon dioxide which is present in different parts of the body will be carried by the blood to the alveoli. And when you breathe out, it is this carbon dioxide rich carbon dioxide rich air that is being given out. I'll repeat once again. During inhalation, we are lifting our ribs, flattening the diaphragm, and the chest cavity is increasing or expanding, and air will rush into the lungs and fill the alveoli. And these alveoli will receive oxygen from the inhaled air, and the blood present in alveoli will carry it to all parts of a body or all the cells in our body. And within the cells, what for this oxygen is used, children? Here it is written, oxygen is reaching our cells. What is the use of oxygen reaching the cells?
For breaking down of food.
Very good. It breaks down glucose or cellular respiration. And you know, as a result of respiration, carbon dioxide is formed in the cells. Now that carbon dioxide cannot get accumulated. So carbon dioxide, it cannot get accumulated in the cells. So the carbon dioxide, which is already present, which is getting accumulated in the cells, should be released out of a body. So blood will transport this carbon dioxide into the alveoli, and from the alveoli, the carbon dioxide rich air will be expelled out during exhalation. Are you getting the point? Are you getting
Yes,
the point?
ma'am.
Okay. So this exhalation, I'll show you once again. During exhalation, ribs move backwards and downwards. Diaphragm moves back to the normal position, and space in the chest cavity will increase. And the blood is bringing carbon dioxide from different parts of the body into the alveoli. And when you expel out or when you inhale, this air will be given out of your lungs. This air will be expelled out of your lungs. Okay. Now, I'll show you a picture here. See here, what you see is a balloon-like structure. This one, this figure. Okay, this one, that is the alveolus. Alveolus, a singular alveolus can be seen over here. See this one. This is our alveolus. And what you see below that, this is blood vessel. Okay, I'll show it in some other color. Wait. See, this is the blood vessel. Okay. Lying close to the alveoli, this is the blood vessel. Now, you can see carbon dioxide which is reaching alveoli is getting expelled out, and oxygen which is entering is carried to all parts of the body by the blood. Okay. And children, there are some diagrams which you need to write, which you need to draw in your notes. You can, already you have printed notes, you're writing lecture notes, but those diagrams. So I'll tell you which are the diagrams you need to draw in your notebook. When you write the notes, those diagrams also you should draw and you should file it. Why I'm asking you to draw these diagrams is at least once you should try to draw it. And any of these diagrams, for the time being, at least once you should try to draw. If you just look at the picture and think that I have understood, you're not going to, you will not be able to draw it. Okay, when you look at the picture, you will feel that, oh, it is very easy, I can easily draw. But when you try out closing the book only, you will find out the difficulty. So almost all the diagrams I told, we cannot say which can come, which will not come. So towards the end of the period, I will tell you the diagrams to be copied into your notebook. Okay. And this figure is not there in your textbook. You don't have to draw it. This is just to make you understand the concept. Once again, I'll show this. See, from different parts of the body, carbon dioxide rich blood will reach the alveolus or alveoli. From there, during exhalation, it will be released out. But when you breathe in, oxygen rich blood will reach, and from the alveoli, it will move to the blood vessels, and the blood will take it to all parts of our body. Now, next, what we are going to learn is about residual volume. So we have completed the different parts of human respiratory system, then mechanism of breathing. Next is residual volume. What is meant by residual volume? During the breathing cycle, I told in each cycle, we are taking in and we are giving out air, inhaling and exhaling. So during each breathing cycle or during the breathing cycle, when air is taken in, given out, the lungs will always contain some amount of air. So when I say we breathe out, we are not completely emptying the lungs. The lungs will never become completely emptied, or complete absence of air won't be there in the lungs. Always some residue, something will be residue, you know. What is residue? In chemistry, you're learning no residue. Something left behind, isn't it? Have you heard or not, children? Nobody is responding. Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
residual volume. So during the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and given out, the lungs will always contain some amount of air. Now, why it is essential? It is necessary to provide sufficient time for the absorption of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide. See, this definition you can split into three parts. I have given it in three colors. During the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and given out. Okay. You know, it is during the breathing cycle, what we are doing? We take in air and give out. So first part is clear. During the breathing cycle, when we take air in and give out. Okay. The lungs always contain some amount of air. The lungs will always contain some amount of air. So during the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and given out, some amount of air will remain in the lungs. What for? To provide sufficient time. Time for what? Time for what? Absorbing oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. You want me to repeat again? Do you want me to repeat again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. During the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and given out, the lungs will always contain some amount of air. Why is it necessary? To give sufficient time. For what? For the absorption of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide. So what it means is that when you are breathing out, you're not completely emptying your lungs. Some will be left there. Almost 1.5 liters of air will be left within your lungs. Always. The minimum balance is 1.5 liters. So you have heard about minimum balance in bank accounts, no? Have you heard? Like 2,000 or
Yes,
1,000.
ma'am.
Banks will decide what should be the minimum balance. That you cannot withdraw. That will always remain. So just like that, in your lungs also some minimum balance will remain. That is 1.5 liters of air is the minimum balance remaining in our lungs. Lungs will never get emptied. Why? Why this residual volume is necessary? Because when some air is there inside your lungs, so there will be some adjustment. It's some time the lungs will get for absorbing oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. Even if there is some time gap, our body can adjust with the leftover or this 1.5 liters of air in the lungs. Once again, I will repeat what is residual volume. I told you split into 3 parts and learn. During the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and given out, okay, the lungs will always contain some amount of air. The lungs will always contain some amount of air. What for? To give sufficient time, to provide sufficient time for the absorption of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide. And you call this as residual volume of air. I think you might have learned, those who were attentive in the class, you might have learned by now. That many times I've repeated it. Who is confident enough to say? And videos of, please don't force me to take some strict action. I told you already. Because that is the instruction we have received.
Mile 7.
Okay, Ashik.
During the breathing cycle,
Yes, Badra? You said something? Okay, Ashik can continue without referring anywhere. Think.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
During the breathing cycle, the air that is taken in and out the lungs will not.
Will always contain.
It always contain a sufficient amount of air
For what?
for the absorption of oxygen and the carbon dioxide.
To provide sufficient time for absorption of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good. Now, who else can say? Who else can say? Such a simple definition. Rifa? I thought all will be raising your hands. Yes, Rifa. Rifa, you don't want to show me your full face. Okay, now it's fine. Yes, Rifa, continue.
During the breathing cycle, when air is taken in, the lungs always have a sufficient amount of some amount of air to provide sufficient time for the absorption of oxygen and the release of carbon
In
dioxide.
between, you are referring, no, Rifa. No? See, I told you, understand the meaning, break it into 3 parts. Now, the one who broke my heart last day, he will answer. Hadi? Yes. Let me see whether, in spite of saying all that, are you listening or not? Yes, Hadi, start.
During the breathing cycle, when the air is taken in and given out, some amount of air will remains in the lungs.
For what?
For
To provide
oxygen.
Provide what? Time should be provided. To provide sufficient time. Understand the meaning. To provide, continue. To provide
Sufficient time for
what? Absorbing what? Oxygen
and
and
carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide also will absorb. Releasing carbon dioxide. Okay, Arjun. Try Arjun. Badra, Johan, Vishnu, Pratish, Afsana. Yes, Arjun, start.
About
Prajol,
what?
yes.
About what?
About what? That's what he asked. Arjun, what I was saying? I was saying about some global warming now. Huh?
Acceleration.
Uh-huh. Where are you, child? They don't give me so much.
Residual volume only?
Residual volume. Somebody helped you out now? What
No.
happened? You are 10-15 minutes late? Huh? Okay, tell Arjun. My God, these children. Okay, tell Arjun. Now don't disappoint me. Without referring anywhere, you should say. Yes.
During breathing cycle, air is
Okay,
taken.
Arjun, I don't want to hear such an answer. You do one thing. Take 2 minutes. By the time I'll ask someone else. Okay, agreed? Agreed, Arjun? Yes, 2 minutes. Not more than that. Where are you, Prajot? Prajot's audio is okay now? Yes.
It's okay.
Tell me what is residual volume. Quickly. We should not give so much time
During
for
the
Arjun.
breath-
Okay.
During the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and given out, lungs always contain some amount of air to provide sufficient time for absorption of O2 and release of carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. Okay, now your turn, Arjun. Now close the book and tell me the answer.
During breathing cycle, the air is given out and
The lungs
lungs always contain some amount of air.
For what?
Air to provide sufficient time for the absorption of O2.
Oxygen. When you say it in words, say oxygen and
the release of CO2, carbon dioxide.
Yes. And Bhadra, tell me what are the different changes taking place during exhalation, or explain exhalation. You just start, Bhadra. Bhadra, what happened? Looking so sad? No. Okay. Tell me.
Move backwards and upwards.
And backwards and
downwards.
Then.
And diaphragm moves back to its normal position.
Chest cavity will
reduce.
And this will lead to what, Johan? Johan, what will happen? When the chest cavity is reduced, diaphragm has gone up and ribs have moved backwards and downwards, what will happen? What will happen to the air? Johan?
The air will exhale.
What happens during exhalation when ribs, diaphragm and chest cavity has got some change? They will undergo some changes during exhalation. So what will happen to the air present in the lungs? Exhalation.
Air is exhaled.
Air will be expelled out. How that air is reaching? What type of air is there? What type of air we are expelling out?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide, air containing carbon dioxide. How carbon dioxide reached there? How carbon dioxide reached your lungs? Nirupama, how carbon dioxide reached lungs?
The blood containing carbon dioxide will
Blood will bring it from different parts of our body, or from the different cells in our body. Carbon dioxide will be collected by blood. Blood will empty to the alveoli of the lungs, and from there it will be released out. Okay, any doubt? Shall we proceed? Yes? Okay. Now, respiratory pigment. We all know that hemoglobin is the pigment, respiratory pigment in our blood. And hemoglobin is having high oxygen affinity. Having high oxygen affinity means they have so much liking towards oxygen. So in presence of oxygen, they'll combine with oxygen and they will form oxyhemoglobin. Okay. So that and all you don't have to learn about. Oxygen will combine with hemoglobin. It forms a compound known as oxyhemoglobin. So no need to worry about the newly formed compound, but just understand that hemoglobin is having high affinity for oxygen. That means whenever oxygen is there, it will bind with that. See, children, in your class also, I'm telling about regular classes, you will have some special friend, some best friends will be there. Okay. So even if in a crowd or even in your class, 40, 35 students are there, you will always like to be in the company of that close friend. Am I right? Whenever she is there, you will go and sit with her. Or when you go out during the interval also, you want to be in his or her company. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So same is the case. So when hemoglobin finds oxygen, it will go and bind with it. They are best friends. Okay. So hemoglobin having high oxygen affinity is a respiratory pigment in human beings. It will bind with oxygen. And what is the advantage of this affinity? I told hemoglobin is having high affinity for oxygen. So this binding with oxygen will help it to transport oxygen to all parts of the body. So hemoglobin will bind with oxygen and will transport it to all parts of the body. See, here you can see oxygen from the lungs binding with hemoglobin, and once it reaches the cells, they will release it to the cells and hemoglobin will be back in action again. Hemoglobin combines with oxygen, carries it to the cells, and in the cells they will separate and oxygen will be distributed to the cells. So hemoglobin, as it have, or as hemoglobin is having high affinity for oxygen, it will help in the transportation of oxygen to different parts of our body. So once again, I will repeat, as it is having high affinity for oxygen, it will bind with oxygen and helps in the transport of oxygen to our cells. And the second function performed by hemoglobin is that it will give red color to our blood. It gives red color to our blood. So blood is red in color because of this red color pigment known as hemoglobin. Carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen, and hence it is mostly transported in the dissolved form in a okay. So we learned about hemoglobin just now. Hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment. It's red color. It's having high affinity for oxygen, and hence it will bind with oxygen and transports oxygen to all parts of a body. Second function is that it gives red color to the blood. And carbon dioxide also need to be transported. It's more soluble in water than oxygen. If you compare the solubility of oxygen and carbon dioxide in water, carbon dioxide is more soluble. So it is mostly transported in the dissolved form in our blood. So they'll be dissolved in water in the blood, and thereby it will get, and that way it will get transported. So the two ways in which carbon dioxide and oxygen are getting transported, we discussed, and I told you oxygen will be transported mainly by hemoglobin, as hemoglobin is having high affinity for oxygen. Hemoglobin will also give red color to the blood. And if you take the case of carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen. So carbon dioxide, it is transported in the dissolved form in our blood. So carbon dioxide, they get dissolved in water. In that way, it is being transported via our blood. Is that clear? So I'll repeat the points. I'll repeat the points once again. So we learned about hemoglobin.
Can you
Hemoglobin.
show the board again?
Yes.
Can you show the board again?
You want to see board again? Means slide again. I'll show you. Let me explain once and then I'll show you. Okay. Hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment in human beings, and it is red in color, and two functions are performed by hemoglobin. Hemoglobin has got high affinity for oxygen. So it will help in, it will bind with oxygen and helps in transporting oxygen. Once again, hemoglobin is having high affinity for oxygen. So it will bind with oxygen and transports it. Second function, it gives red color to the blood. Gives red color to the blood and it helps in transporting oxygen because it is having high affinity towards oxygen. It will bind with oxygen and transports it. Then after that, we learned about carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, how it is getting transported. Carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen. So carbon dioxide will be transported to different parts of our body in the dissolved form through our blood. So from different parts of a body, carbon dioxide has to be carried to your lungs, alveoli in the lungs. So this transport takes place in the dissolved form through blood. Why in the dissolved form? Because they are soluble in water than oxygen. Oxygen, better it is transported as oxyhemoglobin. It will combine with hemoglobin and gets transported, whereas carbon dioxide is transported in the dissolved form. Why? Because carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen. I'll show the slide again for those who have asked. Affinity, I told you, just now I gave you, with the help of an example, I told Rifa, among your classmates, you will be having a special liking towards a particular friend. Closeness, liking. The word meaning, if you see, affinity means some liking, some closeness. And here means whenever I told the example of your best friend. So in a group of students, among a group of students, when your best friend is there, you will always prefer to be in her company. You will go and sit with her. If you have the freedom to choose your seat, definitely you will go and sit with your best friend. If you are going out during the intervals, you will go with her or him, whoever it is. Okay. So similarly, hemoglobin and oxygen are best friends. So whenever oxygen is there, hemoglobin has got a special liking towards oxygen. They'll go and bind together. Okay, Kripa?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And John, I'm showing the slide again. Hemoglobin is having high oxygen affinity. And as a result, it will bind with oxygen and helps in the transport of oxygen. And it will also give red color to our blood. And carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen. And hence it will be transported in the dissolved form by means of blood. Okay. Clear? Any doubts? So with this, we have completed respiration. Respiration is completed. Respiration, different types of respiration we learned. Human respiratory system, respiration in other animals like fishes, aquatic animals we discussed, and respiration in plants. Okay, shall I stop sharing, John?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next class, that means next when you have bio, Friday. Friday you have? No. So next day, nobody's saying, you know the timetable. No, Friday do you have bio? No. So Monday. So next Monday when
Next
you
week.
come, when you join for the session, you will have to prepare for a class test on respiration. From the starting, the two types of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, then respiration in aquatic animals, human respiratory system, till where I come. Respiration topic alone. Okay, for nutrition, I will keep some other day. Do it sincerely. And I'm not very happy with your daily performance also. Some of you are responding. Some of you are, I think some distractions are there. All that you should overcome. You have to be, whenever you are in the class, be attentive. Whether you like it or not, we have no other choice. Once you've joined, do it sincerely. Okay. And all these are done to help you out so that your work will be less at home. Now also you are at home. What I said is after the class, I'm trying to reduce your burden. That's why we keep on repeating the points again. Some of you are taking the benefit, but I don't believe the 100% students, means everyone is listening attentively and taking maximum benefit. I don't think so. No problem. Rectify yourself. We can only say the decision or the change should come from you. And some of you, I'm very happy that throughout they are turning the videos on. No need to do, no need to compel. Even as soon as they join, their videos will be on. We don't have to tell them anything. But at the same time, some are there. If you say also, you will not. If you say also, you will not turn the videos on. So here afterwards, if I repeatedly see, then I will have to call your parents, remove you out from the group. And we have got instructions. I'm not saying simply, I don't want to take such strict actions, because if you are removed, you will lose the class. You will miss the class. And I want all my students to be in the class when I'm taking lessons. Okay. And attendance I will take. So thank you, children. See you next class. Revise for your class test also.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank